Hello everyone, I am Vikas. Today I am going to talk about very exciting tool that we are working on, that is VMware Log Tuner. Before I jump into this further, I would like to introduce myself. I am part of VMware India R&D team, where I primarily contribute to the vCenter server team. I have been a vExpert since last 4 years, and in my spare time, I do blog on my technical blog site, wethinkbeyondvm.com, and the same is my Twitter handle as well. So this is a standard disclaimer. So here is my agenda. First, I will talk about the problem that we are solving. The second, I will talk about the proposed solution that we have. Then I will run you through some of the screenshot that we develop as a part of the POC, and finally I will talk about the benefits. So here we go. Broadly, we wanted to reduce the turnaround time for the support request, and we had a couple of queries in our mind. So first query was, what does it take for a support request to turn into yellow, orange and red escalation? And the second query was, what keeps it at that stage for a longer? So before I move further, I would like to give you a brief high level picture about how the support request cycle works. Usually at the customer end, when customer hits an issue, they raises the support request with the VMware official support team. VMware official support team will gather all the relevant data related to the issue that customer has faced, and they will start the initial debugging of the issue. Once they are done with the initial troubleshooting, and if they think that they need additional help from the engineering team in order to further investigate that, or they think that there is a genuine product bug, and then they raise internal bug with the engineering team, and that's where the engineering team comes into picture. And then engineering, one of the developers from the engineering team gets assigned with that support request, and he will start his initial troubleshooting that problem further. So that's how the support request cycle works. So in order to get the answer to these queries, so we started analyzing the bug reports from last couple of years, and we got this. So this is this is a code from one of the vCenter developer, and I would like you to take a look for a couple of seconds. So now clearly, if you see that what developer is saying, that he has done the initial troubleshooting based on the default data that customer has already provided. Now in order to further investigate the problem, he would like to have additional logging. So here are his requests. So first request is, he thinks that there could be a problem in the inventory service, and he needs a customer to enable the debug log for the inventory service. Then he would like to have vCenter server logging level to be enabled to the trivia. At the same time, the DRM logger to the trivia as well. At the same time, he suggests that please increase the log file size and the number of log files, because if the issue gets reproduced with this additional logging, there is a chance that the log files gets rolled up. And then once customer reproduces this issue, then they download the support bundle and they pass it back to the support team. So this is just for a vCenter server, and there are a couple of 3 of the services involved: inventory service, vCenter and the DRM logger. Imagine there are multiple VMware products are involved. Let's say there is a problem with the vCenter interop with the NSX. So there will be NSX developer as well. Then in order for him to troubleshoot further, he would also request some of the NSX services logging level to be enabled, similar to this. So what is the pain point? So first pain point at the customer end, that customer needs to have expertise on the multiple product component, and even beyond that, multiple products as well. Now in today's era, we could see that software stack is getting complex and complex, so it is very difficult for the customer to have expertise on the multiple products. Second one is the pain of finding right KBs and documentation. Take the example of the vCenter itself. vCenter has a Windows vCenter, then we have VCSA, then there are multiple versions of the vCenter 5.5, 6.0 and 6.5 now. And across these releases, there is architectural change, the log file locations are changed, so there are multiple KBs for across releases. So it is really painful to find the right KBs and documentation in order to enable those loggings. Then once we find the right KBs, then we have to manually manually go and edit some of the core files of that particular service. In that, they are prone to manual error. If there is a manual error, that service itself doesn't start. The next one is multiple repro request. As I told in the third point, if the customer misses the increasing the log file size as well as the number of log files, it happens that the issue gets reproduced, but the write logs are missing, those are got rolled up. So in that case, what happens is, when customer reproduces that issue, he downloads the support bundle, he passes back to the support team on the over the FTP server, then support team will hand it over those logs to the developer. Then developer, as those logs are at the trivial level, so there is a lot of log files are there, so developer will go through this, and at the end he will come to know that the write logs are missing. So then again he requests that, can you please reproduce once again and increase the number of files and the file size. So that's the pain. And then next is a risk of bad planning. As I told, for every service, if you want to change the logging level or any log related configuration, the service needs to be restarted. If the service needs to be restarted, we have to plan the downtime properly. If the planning is not proper, so there is a risk of multiple outages. And the same problem is not only for the customers, but at the same time it applies to the internal QA and the support team as well. The internal QA, when they find some issues, then they raise the issue with the developer, and the same cycle goes on and on. So these are the pain points. So what is the solution? So we propose the solution that how could it could be if the seamless user-friendly interface for tuning the log is there for all the VMware products, and it would be really great if that tool gets integrated as a plugin with the HTML5 client. Imagine there is a drop down for the products that VMware has. There could be a vCenter, then vSAN and NSX. Let's say user select the vCenter, then we get the another drop down where it lists all the services that vCenter has. Then let's say user has selected VPXD. In that, then VPXD as a service has its important properties to be configured. In case of VPXD, its log level can be changed to trivia, info, verbose. Then second is number of files. We can increase the number of files. The next one is a maximum files. So these are the three important properties. So all this would be given as a user interface as a part of H5 client plugin. So here are some of the screenshots that we developed as a part of our POC. So this is a newly developed H5 client plugin interface, where under menu we'll get the option to go for vlog tuner. So here is another option to go to that from the shortcut. Once we click on that, we get this user interface where for every service, if you could see here, the configuration for 3 of services are listed: VMware VPXT, VMware SSO, and vSphere UI. Once we click on the edit, we get this option where we have a product, then service which to be enabled, then property and property value. As I said, this UI was developed in order to just showcase the POC, but we are working on the UX. So in future, we can expect some changes to this. So what benefits we get it from here? So with minimal expertise, if there is this kind of user interface is available at the customer end, with minimal expertise, the admin at the customer end can configure loggings for any VMware products. Then next one is just enough logs. Sometimes enabling logging at the product level can generate huge lot of log files. So those may not be relevant for the problem to be troubleshooted. So in this case, this tool will give you opportunity to just enable logging for the particular service which is impacted or which is requested by the developer. That way we can save a lot of time for the developers as well, and the storage space as well. The next one is obviously no more KBs and documentation that need to be found in order to enable these loggings. That will eventually avoid the manual errors as well. Next one is internal customer as a QE can upfront tune the logging. The classic case is, let's say internal QE is testing something on a large scale. Let's say they are testing DRS on the large scale. So they have built a huge test bed. and they started DRS testing, and let's say they hit some race condition issue, then they collect the default log bundle that we get, and then the same cycle repeats. So in this case, if this tool is there, they can upfront enable DRS related log level to the trivia or the debug, and then they run the test cases. In that case, what happens is when the issue is got reproduced, they have already debug logs available for the developers, because sometimes it happens that some complex issues like race conditions, even though you try to repro once again, it happens that that issue is not reproducible anymore, even though you have enabled the logging. So it's really cool for the internal QA as well. Next one is handy for any engineers for initial troubleshooting. If you want to learn something, you can enable the logging and see that what is happening in the background. And in that user interface, we will be giving one last summary page where we will list out what services you have selected and what is the impact it can have, which services may get restarted, so you can plan it better. So these are the benefits. We plan to release this pling. We plan to release this tool as a pling, and initially we are thinking that in Q4 2017 we will have version for only vCenter, and then followed by NSX and the vSAN, and then all other VMware products. Now meanwhile, if you have any feedback or any feature requests on this tool, we will really appreciate if you share with us. This is my team, and that's all. Thank you very much.